Good morning, good night, good afternoon, you beautiful patriots, you. I am so happy to be around and alive. And let me just tell you this right now, it is getting crazy out there. Completely crazy. Now I want to preface this with, first of all, whether you're blue or red, I love you. What I fight against is the way media and deep state turn everything upside down. White is black, down is up. You know the drill, right? So I want to show you something. I'm sorry if it's backwards. This book here, written by W. Cleon Skousen. W. Cleon Skousen. I'm going to show you where you can get it. Let me hold it up there nice and close. All right, this is definitely a book. And if I can, I believe it was Gothic on TikTok that was starting to break down the 45 things. Now this was written in around 1953 or 55 by an FBI agent, and it was. You'll see what it says when I show you. I want to get you over into the where you can purchase this book. Very important, super important here. You can get it all over the place. All right, thrift books. Walmart. You can get Audible. I highly recommend Audible. I read it, but it is absolutely scary. Let me just tell you, super scary. It's like reading the book from George Orwell, 1984. And this guy presented it to Congress around the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. So I want to show you a couple little clips here of this YouTube channel. You see, it's the Naked Communist. 45 goals of communists to overthrow the United States. All right, now this here is by Aquaponics, and this is a little ways ago. I don't know where the date is of when it was done. Let's see if I could see it. No, I'm not going to be able to see it. Let me show more. Nope, it's not showing when it was put up. If you see it, you'll know it. So anyway, check this out.
Now, with this in mind, I want to give you just a few of them. Number four, permit free trade between all nations, regardless of communist affiliation, and regardless of whether or not items could be used for war.
All right, so there it is, 1958. Okay, I was close. Do you see this? Permit free trade between all nations, regardless of communist affiliation. Are you not seeing that? Like, where are we now with China? China hates us. All right.
Of course, it was a short time after that we started seeing things in our nation that was made, in effect, by communist nation. For example, I always thought it was kind of funny how American flags are made in China. Number 11, promote the UN as the only hope for mankind. If its charter is rewritten, demand that it be set up as a one world government with its own independent armed forces.
Remember Papa Bush, Big George? He said right in his speech, one new order. This nation's going to need a new world order. Here it is. All right, and I read the book and I read all 45. It will stun you. It will stun you.
Well, how many know since then that has literally taken place? Now the UN has its own army, and many of these stand on their own soil. Many of our American citizens are a part of this international army. Number 12, resist any attempt to outlaw the Communist Party. I don't know how many of you saw it during the president's speech. There were a massive amount of pro-Obama, pro-communists that were standing right there in the United States Capitol.
Do you see? Now this is old. I believe this is from 2013. I got to double check. This is 2013, okay? So 2021, late or early 22, I believe she was Gothic on TikTok and or YouTube. Blew my mind with what I had to order the book. All right, and I had spoke with a good friend of mine, Leah. I told her, order this book, please, whether it's audio book or the hard copy, because when you read it, it will open your eyes to what media, big tech, deep state is doing.
Proudly waving their communist flags, a part of the United Communist Party of America. When would you have ever thought we'd got to that place?
Okay, this is where, if you read, I already knew this from a really good lecture. I'll have to, I don't have that. I gotta find. Actually, I could do a whole video on this lecture that I watched. But this book here, okay, it tells you everything that this man about 3 years ago that I watched was telling us, and what they figured out. This is, I'm paraphrasing here, but what they figured out. But World War I, they knew America was becoming a beast. It was after the Civil War, and then of course way after Revolutionary War. They knew that Americans fought for America and fought for the freedoms of other countries, but war makes money too. So after World War I, the communists, any of them, especially Russia, knew there was no way to break us down. The only way they could break us down was to get in to our lifeline, our heart. And number one, that's the school system. That's where they change everything. So what they did was they went with the gender and the race to have us hate each other. Me personally, I hate no one. I approve of anything you do that makes you feel better for yourself. I don't care who you love the one you're with. But when media is pressuring and the teachers unions are pressuring us to break up and destroy ourselves, I have to fight for it until I'm canceled. So the only way Russia knew that they could get us was not by finances or war. They couldn't get into our class. Although, you know, racism and gender phobias and stuff also affect class a little bit. But they knew they couldn't get us that way. They knew red-blooded Americans would protect their turf. They would protect their own. And if you notice now, our government right now doesn't care economically about us, doesn't care whether it's food or gas, energy, doesn't care about us. We could sit there and start rebuilding our infrastructure for green energy and create mega jobs and still let the oil industry help us along. But they're not doing that. That's because from now grade school all the way up to deep state, there are communists in our country, and you may not know who they are. I almost guarantee you don't know who they are. But lately, we're starting to see a lot of colors being shown. Let's keep going.
Number 15, capture one or both of the political parties in
Boom!
the U.S. Now keep in mind, this was written 51 years ago. Consider how radical that sounded. And
he said capture. It's in there. I have it. Capture one or both. I've always believed both were bad. You know, Donald Trump came in there and just broke things, whether you like him or don't like him. He came in and tried to break the system, and he almost did. And they are doing everything they can to kill us. Metaphorically, of course. But they're doing everything they can to wipe us of patriotism and the Constitution.
And consider today, when you look at Newsweek, just recently, the front page of the cover of Newsweek magazine openly says, we are all socialists now. Since the election, we're all socialists now. Does one of the political parties seem to be pushing socialist concepts, folks?
I got to find that.
It's kind of hard for us to believe this. That's why we need to pull our heads out of the sand.
Look at that.
It's happening right before our very eyes.
Look at this.
We are seeing, we're losing an entire political party to this concept.
It's gone now.
Number 16, use technical decisions. to the court of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights.
Boom. Do you see this? Again, if this is 2013, this is just about 10 years ago that people were waking up to this book. And this book is not full of fallacies at all. It is spot on, deadly spot on, and it will blow your mind.
Who would have ever thought that you would get to the place in the United States of America that you could not say the Pledge of Allegiance because it said one nation under God? Who would have ever thought, folks, that a judge would keep kids from saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
So what that is right there is, let's just say eggs. Everybody likes eggs, right? So you go to a restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant talks to somebody, and they say, "No, I'm getting French toast because I hate eggs." So that restaurant owner decides, well, you know what? I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't even want you to see it on the menu. He goes to the back chef, or the chef in the back, and says, "We're going to change our menu. Eggs are now off the menu." So that way we protect anybody that hates eggs. You feel me?
Ban them from doing so. Number 17, talking about schools, listen to this. Get control. This is 51 years ago. Get control of the schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of the Teachers Association. Put the party line in textbooks. Well,
are you kidding me? If you're a parent out there, you have to say, this is the arrow in my heart. I'm over 50, so I didn't have to deal with this at all. Yes, in the early 80s, I went to school with black, tan, red, white, and it was a mixed bunch. And at that point, they were teaching to get along together. They weren't teaching inclusiveness or exclusiveness and getting each other to fight. And that's how far, from 1983 to 2023, oh my God, it is completely bass-ackwards. Completely. This is a bomb right here, number 17.
Every one of those things have been fulfilled to a T. Just last month, one of the National Education Association's top lawyer said openly in a speech, said that those who promote traditional values are a group of white-winged blank.
Are you stuttering? I'm stuttering. And I don't want to keep this long. I could cut this in half right now and do another video. So right there, I'm going to put the link of this gentleman in here, and I will definitely put a link to where you can go straight, maybe Amazon, to buy the book. I highly recommend any true constitutional, red-blooded American that loves one another. This book will teach you what the truth really is and what's about to happen. And guess what? Out of 45, all 44 have been met so far. All right, from nuclear war all the way to this. So I need to catch my breath, because I can't stress that this channel is not to degrade people. This channel is to degrade what abuses are happening in America to Americans by, quote, America. And we need the red vote. I know. And believe me, I was a Democrat till 2010. So yes, I voted for Obama. I consider myself a centralist that leans a little bit right. But I can understand some of the wants of the left, and I would be glad that if I was ever in Congress or up there, I would. You can't. Right now, it's set up that you can't get 3 people from the red, 3 people from the blue, sit in a room and get something done. If you've noticed, since 2012, nothing gets done. They trick you into thinking something's getting done, and then if something does get done, it just pisses you off. You know, all the money that's been spent right now. Could you imagine spending money to help people that are addicted to drugs and build places to put them, and almost like a miniature city? Maybe there's, you know, 2-3 square miles that we can spend money and just build a complex, build a place where you can have jobs and job training. And you know, you can have a jail and have them make furniture or license plates. Well, why can't you get people that are addicted to drugs into a facility where they actually help with either manufacturing, get them educated, get them off drugs? Now, first and foremost, I will tell you, nobody can get off drugs but themselves. So there is no pill, there is no doctor, and if you have a God, hopefully your God helps you, but nobody can do it but you, whether it's alcohol or drugs. Nobody's going to do it but you. But let's just say we give them that platform that they feel safe and they can go through medically and get off the drugs, get into education, maybe have, you know, a square mile of manufacturing where they can hold a job and get paid, have, you know, a half a mile where everybody can live and have an apartment, and whatever's, you know, done inside there can generate money to help fund it. I don't know. But if we could send all this money overseas, we could certainly in here take care of our own. You know, if we need to have places to we should be growing food and turning our gas on. So I am for the true red, white, and blue America. And I need you guys to kiss, love, hug a veteran. Check out Gretchen at Code of Vets. I always plug her. She's amazing. She takes care of our veterans. And when they don't have anybody to turn to, they turn to Gretchen. And I can highly appreciate her, and I always plug her. So on that note, I love you guys. Sorry this got a little winded. Go look for that book, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.